Welcome to Fire Mountain Gems and Beads Live. I'm Patty. I'm a jewelry designer here at Fire Mountain. And today I want to talk about pricing your jewelry. You know, when we're making jewelry, it's so much fun and we can be really passionate about it. But when you go to sell it, it's very important that you make a nice, healthy profit from it and that your customer feels like they got a great value. And that's kind of a fine line to walk. So let's talk about a great way to start in pricing your jewelry. So the way that I like to price jewelry is with a formula. And I'm going to share my personal formula with you today, and then you can adjust it out as it fits you. That's just a jumping off point, a place for you to start. Before we get into that though, I just want to let you know that this video is being recorded. So if you miss any part of it, you can go back to the beginning and watch it all the way from the beginning to end. You won't miss anything. As well, we're live, so make sure and comment your questions as we go. I would love to interact with you one-on-one. Please like the video so it gets spread to other people to have this experience. I know a lot of people could really use this information. I've been a jeweler for a long time, and I know the struggles. You know, when you're starting out, there are so many things to learn, and you know, these segments are great for helping you get a little leg up in that area. Okay, so let's start with that formula. First, I'm going to show you my retail base price formula. We're going to have a little card come up here that shows what that formula is. Okay, so my base price formula is pretty simple. It's 3 times or triple the cost of the materials. That's the cost of what went into your piece, plus your time, which is how much time it took you to make it, multiplied by your hourly rate. And your hourly rate is something you set for yourself, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then any miscellaneous costs, that can be things like packaging, gift wrap, takeaway bags, what have you, okay? So you always want to build that into the price of your piece. That way you don't lose money on that end of the sale. And then you get your base price. Now I say base price and not just plain retail price, because that can be adjusted up or down for different reasons, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So before we do that and start talking about it, adjusting the price, I want to talk about wholesale real quick. Because when you're making jewelry and you start to make jewelry and you give it to someone else to sell, so you're not going out there and putting it on your own website, or you're not taking it somewhere and selling it, you know, wherever you do. If someone else is doing the legwork, it's really kind of a wholesale transaction. And so usually you'll cut your price down just a little bit to give some wiggle room, because the other person needs to make a profit. Often you'll get a base wholesale price, and the person selling it, say if it's a store or a gallery, another vendor, they'll actually raise the price a bit more, but adjusting it just a bit down before you hand it off to them makes a more kind of fair division of profit. Okay, so let's look at wholesale price formula. So my wholesale base price formula. So there's a little card up there that shows it is 2 times the cost of the material, plus your hourly rate times the time it took you to make it. I don't adjust that because you really do need to be fairly compensated for your time, plus those little miscellaneous costs. If you're sending off packaging or putting on earring cards or what have you, you want to keep that built into your price. So you can see that the base price for wholesale is a bit lower per piece than the retail, to give that wiggle room. I'm going to go ahead and just set wholesale aside. I just wanted you to be aware of that, but we're really talking about retail in this segment more. So let's look at an example of that retail base price formula in action. So let's look at these earrings. Got a pair of earrings here, and let's say I made these, and the materials in these earrings cost me, let's just say $5. That's not accurate, but we're just going to use that as an example. So $5 in materials. And let's say it took me 30 minutes to make those earrings. Then I have to decide what my hourly rate is, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But we're just going to say on this one, the hourly rate is $20. At half an hour, that's $10. And then miscellaneous costs. Let's say I put them on an earring card and we put them in a box, and that costs 50 cents. So we're going to add 50 cents in miscellaneous costs. So when we put that all together, triple the cost of the materials at $5 is $15. And then the time it took me to make them, which is half an hour, times $20, which is my hourly rate, is another $10. So we've got $25 so far, and then we add those miscellaneous costs, so it's $25.50 would be the base price for these earrings. Okay, so now we've established that. We're going to use that for our example throughout. All right, so if we take that formula for these earrings and we subtract, we've got $25.50, and we subtract the cost of the materials plus the cost of those extras, which is $5.50, that gives our profit margin $20. So we can kind of assume that on average, we're going to make $20 off each pair of these earrings that we sell. Now, that price can be adjusted up or down for different reasons. And so you always want to leave room for adjustment. And so let's talk about what the reasons are that you might want to adjust those prices. The first reason that I really want to point out, and it's something that a lot of people talk about, is perceived value. So if you make a pair of earrings, these are really nice earrings. They didn't cost much in materials. And $25.50 is a really good price for these earrings, for the work that went into them, for the style, they're trendy. So someone might look at these earrings and perceive the value as higher than $25.50. So if it's a hot, trendy item that people are wanting, I look around, I see other items are selling for more and they're selling well, I might add a little bit to the price and bring it closer to $30. So maybe perceived value on this is more $30 than $25.50. So I might adjust up in that circumstance. So going from $25.50 to $30, there's always a little kind of perception, and I always thought it was kind of funny, but it's very true if you do a little market research, that people will kind of group a whole price bracket together. So instead of going to that $30 mark, I might take them to $29.50. So I might raise them just $4 from $25.50 to $29.50, because people perceive that things in the $20 bracket are all about the same. But once you hit $30, which is only 50 cents away, it seems like quite a jump. So you might want to think about that when you're raising your items for perceived value. Just might want to keep it just under the mark of the next $10 increment. Just something to think about. Okay, so other reasons you might want to adjust your prices. So you want to really pay attention to your customer when you're pricing. And the same pair of earrings or the same necklace or the same bracelet might have a different price depending on your customer. And now you kind of gauge your customer by some different things. One is the venue where you're selling, the type of venue and the location of the venue. So if you're selling at, say, an upscale art event, people might have more disposable income, and you might keep your prices a bit on the higher side. If you're selling, say, at a neighborhood church craft show, you might keep your prices a bit on the lower side, especially if it's in an area where the income level is more average or lower income. You have to think about what people's disposable income, how much income they really have to spend on fun things like jewelry is. And just always put yourself in the customer's shoes as well as your shoes. You want to make a nice, healthy profit, but you want them to have a great value. It's that balance. So some things to think about when you're adjusting the price, especially if you're adjusting down. You want to think about, say, if you're looking at a venue and you want to consider, say it's a kind of a middle income venue, think about the total budget that that person might have coming to the event. Say they have, I don't know, you're putting yourself in you're putting yourself in someone's shoes, in your customer's shoes. So you want to make sure and really just guesstimate the best that you can what their budget might be. So let's just guess that someone's budget is $50 coming to this art festival that you're selling at. And then you got to think, what are they going to do with that $50? They might spend some of that $50 on food or refreshments. They might spend some on an activity. And then the rest they might have for hard goods like jewelry. And then you have to think they might want to buy from more than one vendor. So if they have that $50 and they spend 15 of it on food and they spend 10 on an activity, that gives them $25 left for something like jewelry. Now, it could be that someone coming with that kind of budget absolutely loves your stuff and they whip out their credit card or they go to the ATM and they expand their budget. But you always have to plan for the average budget. So if someone has about $25 to spend, make sure that you have things in your area that are around that budget. You'll make more sales that way. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples of adjusted base prices. Let's start with an upscale art event. We're going to say that we're an upscale art event and we have these earrings and we feel like the average budget there is going to be just a little bit more. We might take that base price of $25.50 and up it by $4. And that will up our profit from $20 to $24. That's quite a bit of profit. Really good way to do it. It still feels reasonable, it'll feel like a good value, and you're making what you need to make. Let's take another example. Let's talk about that neighborhood church craft show. Or it could be in a high school gymnasium or somewhere like that where people might have a little less budget to go around. You want to still provide things that people can buy. So you might take these earrings and adjust it down a bit. Let's say you're going to adjust it down $5 for that event. So you're taking your profit from $20 to $15 for these earrings for each pair that you sell. And that actually sounds pretty good, but when you do that, think about how many items you're going to sell altogether, kind of project, and think about the cost of your booth and the cost of your fuel to get there, and if you had to rent a hotel room and all of those things together, and really decide how much you can adjust your prices down. You want to give that great value, but make sure you're being compensated fairly for your time and for the materials that you put into your work. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about, look, I'm sorry, I'm so excited about pricing and telling you about that. I'm not seeing, hi to everyone. Hi to Kathy in Georgia and Cheryl in New York. I did not mean to ignore you. You can tell I get really excited about things like this and educating people so you can go out and sell your jewelry. And remember, if you came in a little late, this is being recorded, so you can go at the end of the video and watch all the way from the beginning. You won't miss anything. Make sure and like the video. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about here is price tags. It's really important when you're out at an event that people be able to figure out the cost of your item on their own. Now, some people have the theory that if you don't price your stuff, people have to engage with you, and then they'll talk with you and make a relationship with you, and they're more likely to buy. But actually, there's a little bit of a self-consciousness in a lot of people where they feel like if they have to ask you that they might not be able to afford the piece. It's almost an embarrassment thing. And you want people to be very, very comfortable in your space and with you. So if you put a price out there, that alleviates that problem. Let's see. Change prices based on where you're going. So someone's asking me, yes, you do that sometimes in jewelry. You know, often I'll keep my base price, but if I'm doing special events, like an upscale event, I might change my price range just slightly, not hugely, for that. If I'm doing something where I know people aren't going to have a lot of budget, I might adjust it down a little bit. That's actually a very common practice with jewelry, or actually with any good that you're selling at an event. So mix of price ranges. Oh, you know what? Rebecca is helping me over here. Rebecca, can you write the whole question up there so I'll understand the question? And I'll get back to that in just a minute. Okay, so price tags again. It's important to price your stuff, but I really, really like the price tag that you can't see on immediate inspection, because you want someone to come up to your piece and just fall in love with the work before they see how much it costs. Not to be deceptive, you just want them to buy it because they love it. And so I really like to put my price tags on the back or on the bottom of the display or of the piece. That way they can easily discover the price without having it being glaring right from the beginning. So like with a pair of earrings, if you have them on a stand like that, a good way is to put a little sticker on the back of the stand. We use these little stickers here. Another way to do that is to put it on the bottom of the stand, just like that one there. You can also use barbell tags and string tags for your necklaces and bracelets and what have you. So barbell tags, I don't know if you've ever seen these before, but I love these. Jewelers often use these. And they have two sections, a section on either side that is sticky and a middle that has no stick to it. So you can peel this off the sheet. Let me just peel it off so I can show. I can get it off with my nails here. Okay, it's staying. That's okay. Normally I would be able to get it off easily, but so you peel it off, you write on one side the price, the other side you can write a little description like sterling silver or something like that, and you just fold it around the piece like with this ring. Here's a little round barbell tag like this rectangular one, and you can see that it floats freely on the piece and it stays nice and close. It's a really great way to do it. That's great for rings, it's great for bracelets. You can see this necklace here. On the back I have a little barbell tag there. The string tags are great too if you want to use those. You can see like on this bracelet we have the string tag on the back here. You can put your price on the bottom of a display like that. Now, if you have a multitude of items that are all the same price and they're on the same rack, like this one here, where all of the necklaces are the same price, you don't have to price each one. You can put a common price. I do like to have that on the front of the display if you do it that way, because you don't want people picking up or turning your whole display around, because it could kind of displace that rack. So it is important to do the pricing. It just really makes it a better relationship with your client. It just makes them feel more comfortable in your space. And when you see someone picking something up, you can mention something about the piece. Oh, those beads, those dragonfly beads are brand new and I absolutely love them. Or, oh, I had so much fun in making the sun in these earrings. And then you can kind of start a conversation from there. Rather than have it be about the price. You want it always to be about the piece and not the money, if you can make it that way. Should you take a mix of different price ranges? Yeah, I really think that that's a great idea, and I like to do that whenever I do events, depending on the event. So if I have an upscale event, I might bring, a certain range of lower price things and more middle range and a few upper range. And, that way I know I'm gonna sell. If I am putting my stuff in a gallery, it might be all upper range. If I'm doing a craft show, it might be mainly lower range with a few nicer pieces. Really is up to the event. Oh, hello to Patty Joe from Ottawa. Another Patty, nice to meet you. You even spell it like I do. And to Jim, thank you so much for being here with us. I really appreciate you guys all being here. I hope that you've gotten a lot out of this little pricing segment. It's such an important issue and it's something we don't talk about enough. All right. Well, make sure and come back to be with us in 2 weeks. Rose is going to be doing a segment on Kato clay canes. If you don't know what a cane is, it's when you sculpt a little object and you make it smaller and smaller by rolling it, and it is so cool. So you can get these really detailed, very small slices of clay. They're wonderful. And if you're really interested in the pricing segment here, on July 1st, I'm going to be back with a segment called How to Be a Bazaar Ninja. Okay, now that's bizarre like show, not like strange. However, you know, I could probably do both, but we're focusing on the jewelry. So that's going to be a segment all about all of the little things that go into making a show successful. So we'll talk a little bit about pricing again then, but we're going to talk about all the things like display and choosing the right show, and all the little minutiae that go in to make you great at shows. All right, thank you so much for being here. Make sure and subscribe to our email list if you want to be the first one to have great insider information on new sales, new products, specials, and all that good stuff. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time.